My father taught me many things here. He taught me, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Hey folks, thanks for tuning in to Kaisers Kastle today. Today's going to be a funny episode. I'm going to make it as light humored as I can because it just makes me laugh. That was Axion Ghost, Musso's Pizza. Go check it out. Link is in the description. What I wanted to talk about today is actually, you guys will all get a kick out of it. And I got Art Bell up for a reason. That's the reason why I put him up there. Art Bell interviewed everybody. I remember he's interviewed a dude that, what was his name? Gabriel, the mercenary, who was absolutely unbelievable with some of his stories on one episode. Then he had the guy who shot Bigfoot. He also interviewed white nationalists. He also interviewed people with conspiracy theories. He was the original conspiracy theory guy. And he entertained me many times on stakeouts, whatever I was doing, right? Just doing my job, you know, late at night. And then he went on to continue with XM, Sirius, I believe. And I think it was just XM. And then went on to do a podcast with BellGab. I used to go shitpost on it. And in that spirit, this is how I run my channel. I interview everybody. Doesn't mean that I agree with anybody, but it also doesn't mean that I disagree with anybody. It's a fact. But what I've interviewed a gentleman that I got all kinds of pushback on, and it was all good. Didn't mind at all because I met the guy. Whether you like him or not, I found him to be a decent dude, and I thought he was interesting. That's kind of the point to this. I have a small channel. I like it that way. I like everybody disagreeing or agreeing with me. That's fine. I like to be interactive with you all. You know this. So, here's the funniest part. So, last night, I did a show yesterday on discretion and how discretion has been taken away from law enforcement and also other agencies. And it was a good show, you know, whatever. I had talked with Mr. James Fetzer, doctor. He's a former Marine. If you think you're going to hear me talk crap about him, I'm not. He's a decent dude. And had no issue. Thought, oh, it was entertaining. He gets on some subjects, but I know one subject he wrote about was very truthful. And that was the point I thought where he was going to go, but he went a different direction for about, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe. And that's okay, you know. I was just like, okay, now let's get back on topic. Didn't think anything of it. Well, because he touched the sacred cow. This is what happened. I leave it up because I was curious to see what the amount of views were. I just left it up overnight. And I get on, said I had 18 views, and then I look up, and oh, there's a comment. And the way YouTube now has comments is you have to click on it, and it goes to their comment. You scroll down. Guy disagreed, whatever. I was like, okay. And he started really trying to lecture me on having him on, which made no sense. You know, he's like, oh, this, that, and the other. He's got a lawsuit, which he stated on the show that he was being sued. And he, of course, conflates Alex Jones with it. And I'm thinking, okay, where are you going with this, you know, in the thing? And I keep looking at it. And I'm like, wow, this is kind of an interesting comment. So I was looking forward to, you know, responding. Well, guess what? Homeboy must have reported me because that video is no longer available. So there's going to be a gap from the 25th to the 27th because number 26 is gone. That's fine with me. I will repost on the secret channel that only those in the know about, and it'll go back up, and it's a even tighter group of people because I think that show, well, it's already up on it. I think that show deserves being heard, and I have no idea why I didn't even get a strike on that show. They just took it down. Never had that happen before. Didn't even get a letter from YouTube. So maybe there was some other type of fuckery afoot. Exactly. Michael Anderson, exactly. Freedom of speech. Yeah, right. You're exactly on it. You know what? I don't care what anybody says. I'm not going to edit it. I'm not going to delete it. Shoot, with my interview with Adam, people were like commenting, saying all this stuff, and all I said was, hey, please watch certain slang. And if you don't, you don't. But did I pull any of the words? No, not at all. And now they're demonetizing. Me and Jaffe talked about it on WPRPN last night. They're demonetizing. My channel's not monetized. I like my small little group of people. Why would I monetize it? You know, I'm doing this as a hobby. I'm not doing this for any other thing and to leave a little time capsule so my son can point to my grandchildren one day and say, this is your crazy grandfather, your crazy Opa. You know, and that's kind of the point. And too many people get wrapped around in the politics of dancing. And I'm not that guy. I can do it. Oh, trust me, I'm very good at doing it. But guess what? It's just not what I'm choosing to do right now. I will do it if things get more serious, but I'm just not going to do it. Right now I'm going to have some fun, and that's what this whole point of this thing is. And I never say believe everything I post or I talk about. I tell you to research what I post. That's why I posted that little meme up there. Research it. And if you call bat squatch on it, guess what? I'm okay with that. If you think that I'm totally out the bag, off the rails, you know what? We can agree to disagree. And I'm pretty sure the person who did it, I'm pretty sure it's somebody I know. And I'm pretty sure I know why he did it. And it's not my big issue, and nor do I care. And I don't care. That's the biggest thing. The 3 most freeing words in the English language. I don't care. I don't care. I can't care for everybody. I can care for those around me, my family, my friends. I can care about the people on my channel to make sure I'm not specifically throwing something out there to enrage you, to inflame you. But that's just on me. What a guest comes on and says, I really don't want to edit them. There's something called an on and off switch. And you can turn that off switch off. Or you can go to another channel. There's lots of them out there. Go to Stick, Sex, and Hammer. Go somewhere else. Listen to something else. But this thing about speech, It's very corrupted right now. And yes, it's being done by corporations. Well, you think those corporations aren't being guided by some other different influences? I can name a few. SPLC, we know that for a fact, is guiding a lot of things. The ADL, there's just numerous. I'm sure there's some other organizations that also will put in slams on the right too. So these things exist. Do I care? No, I don't. What I do care about is the integrity of the show. And I also care about being able to respond to your guys' questions, your thoughts, welcoming them. It's all good. And for me to edit you, this is a big one. If I edit you, then what actually have I done? I've silenced your voice. So then what do I become? A hypocrite. And that's where we're at today. And that's why we have a problem here right now. The deletion of yesterday's show is, I'm just responding to that because I find it humorous. But we have a problem here now because, just like with yesterday's show that I was talking about, we have inverted priorities. You know, we were told don't discuss religion and politics. Even when I was a kid, I'll never forget it. And they even instilled it, you know, in the military and in my federal service. You know, trying to keep it professional. And that's always how they hemmed it, right? But here's my true thinking on it. It was a way to get you cowed and move you on to the cattle farm. So the farmer didn't have to worry about unruly cattle. He didn't have to worry about the mooing and the late night gallivanting or whatever. So these are the things that I believe. And our priority should be the First Amendment. I mentioned this last night on WPRP and World Pirate Radio News. When me and Jaffe were talking, I identified it instantly. I said, look, here's what's happening right now. They're going after... I always thought this, and this is back during my military time and even my federal time. I said, when they go for the Second Amendment, they'll go for the First Amendment. Never in all my born days did I think they would go after the First Amendment first, because the First Amendment was always guaranteed by the Second Amendment. And I figured they'd get rid of the guns before they went after the first. Well, no, we allowed them, and when people say political correctness started under Clinton, I have to correct them. It started under George H.W. Bush. His kinder, gentler, more politically correct world, society. We now have a society that mirrors. Stasi would be proud. We now mirror old Ostdeutschland, East Germany. It mirrors it, except the surveillance system is so much more advanced. And no longer is the government doing it, because the government's not violating your civil rights. They're not spying on you. They're not stopping your speech. The government actually is doing nothing, but the corporations are stopping you. YouTube, Google, we can go on and on, Facebook, all of it. Social media also is a problem. Social media, it has limited the tenor of a conversation, because you have to worry what everybody else thinks. Like I said, those 3 freeing words, I don't care. I had a guy on one of my pages that I had a while back, and he made a comment, you know, oh, you a racist. And I'm like, thank you for your comment. Hope you stay and enjoy the shows. I wasn't going to be crappy with him. So I didn't care. I don't have to care. I'm not going to get involved in internet drama, and I'm not asking you to either. The House of Shuff is going to stand. We've stood for centuries in numerous parts of the world. We've been around, and we're a small house, but we've been around for quite a while, since Maria Theresa was the only empress of Austria. And I'm not giving up anything. I'm not giving up my speech. Yes, Mr. Anderson, you're exactly right. Fascism is a way of ruling that advocates total control of the people, and so is communism. And that's why I say it's not a left-right paradigm. It's circular, because they always meet in the middle with war and death. That's what happens. But, you know, I make my living in war, and I won't get into the death part of it, but I understand exactly what you're saying. War and violence, let's say it that way. That's more correct. This is just the way it is. And you're seeing the American people being pushed in a direction to where they're actually dividing us even more. They even misused two quotes, you know, e pluribus unum, which was original intent was out of many states, one nation. It never meant out of many peoples, one people, because that's pretty much undoable because of tribalism and whatnot. I mean, it's a fact. I hate to say it. The other one is Lazarus's poem on the Statue of Liberty. You know, bring us, you're tired, you're poor, you're sick, you know, that one. Well, that was put on years after the statue was erected, and it was done to raise, Emily Lazarus, I think was her name, was done to raise money for the actual foundation where they put it. Hi, Bolt Gun. How's it going, brother? That's what it was for. And it's just a poem. But the Statue of Liberty never meant bring in third worlders, bring in people that can't contribute or do anything for the nation. It didn't mean open our borders. It didn't mean allow everybody who wants to be American to be an American. And it also didn't mean you take in people that you actually know are terrorists and you let them come back home. It's just, you live in an upside down world, so do I. But I thought yesterday's show, Deletion, with Dr. Jim Fetzer, he's a great guy. I'm not going to say, like I said, I'm not going to say a bad word about him. But I will protect his right to speech. Same with Alex Jones. You think I agree with everything Alex has done? No, and I've even been on his show one time. It's on my channel. I recorded it. So, you know, it's ridiculous. You know, I agree with some of it, and on the show when I called into Alex, I disagreed with him on something, and I wanted clarification. And he gave me the clarification, and he ended up saying, you're right. He did. He said, you're right, and I see where you're coming from, and I guess I have done that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, man. It wasn't a big deal. It's not a big deal to me to disagree, but you don't have to be disagreeable. And honestly, it's kind of a pussy's way out to make a claim on somebody's YouTube channel. You know how many channels I've gone on that maybe I disagree with everything? Now guess how many channels I've ever turned in to have them shut down? 0. You know, when I can listen to the left, people that I disagree with fundamentally on certain issues, like Tim Pool, also like Dave Rubin, and I can say, okay, I agree with that little bit. And Joe Rogan on occasion, he's become really unpalatable since he didn't really, and it was monetarily done, he didn't put Jack Dorsey, the owner of Twitter, to the grill, but there was also monetary, considerations. But he wasn't even forthcoming about saying this is my, this is what I have dealing with him. And that's really where it ends with me. So am I getting into a big issue over it? No. Hell no. But I can listen to it. And if I don't like it, guess what? I don't listen to it. If it doesn't look interesting to me, I'm not going to listen to it. But people that look to be triggered and look to be victimized or feel victimhood over issues, that's a sign of weakness. That is a sign of so much weakness. I know everybody in my channel normally. This guy, probably, I'd never seen him post before, but I'm pretty sure I know who he is. Seen him on another channel a few times. Now he's using a nom de plume. It's fine. You want to do this stuff? It's all good. But you showed me exactly what you're about. And that's honest. That's real. And that's my 2 cents. I'm glad you guys are all here, sitting on my big orange couch. Now you have a reason and a knowledge why my post is gone. And that's what happened. With that, I'll leave with my outro, which is always, thanks for sitting on my big orange couch. Glad you had a nice hot cup of tea or coffee or an adult libation. That's what it's here for. And I like my small group. You guys just keep living. With that, the outro, inside enemy headquarters, and it starts right now.